right now. As you watch this, someone you know is lying to themselves. Maybe it's your friend who swears he'll start tomorrow. Maybe it's your coworker who blames the system for his failures. Maybe it's you. Because here's the truth that burns. Most people would rather live in comfortable delusion than face brutal reality. They choose the sweet lie over the bitter truth, and that choice destroys them slowly, silently, completely. Machiavelli watched this pattern 5 centuries ago. He saw men clinging to fantasies while their enemies conquered their lands. He saw leaders believing in loyalty while their closest allies plotted betrayal. He saw the weak praying for fairness in a world that rewards only strength. Nothing has changed. The same delusions that killed men then are killing you now. It's not hope, it's a mirror, and what you see in it will either break you or rebuild you. Because once you accept these truths, once you stop running from reality, you become something rare, something dangerous. A man who sees the world as it is, not as he wishes it were. Watch closely. Your illusions are about to shatter. You've been taught that hard work guarantees success, that honesty always wins, that good people get rewarded and bad people get punished. Those are fairy tales. The harsh reality is that the world doesn't care about your effort. It only cares about your results. You can work 70 hours a week and still be broke. You can be the most honest man in the room and still be called a liar. You can be kind, generous, loyal, and still die alone and forgotten. Why? Because the universe has no moral compass. It doesn't track your good deeds. It doesn't reward virtue. It operates on one principle only: power. Who has it and who doesn't? Everything else is decoration. Society sells you the dream that if you follow the rules, you'll win. Go to school, get a degree, work hard, be nice, wait your turn. But look around. Who's actually winning? Is it the rule followers? Or is it the ones who broke the rules strategically, who took risks while you played it safe, who demanded what they wanted while you waited to be chosen? Machiavelli said it plainly. The world belongs to those who seize it, not those who deserve it. There is no cosmic justice waiting to reward you for being good. There is only the reality you create through force, cunning, and relentless action. And if you refuse to accept this, you will spend your entire life wondering why others less deserving than you have everything you lack. Here's another truth that will sting. Most people don't actually want success. They want the idea of success. They want to dream about it, talk about it, post about it. But when it comes time to sacrifice comfort, to endure pain, to face rejection and failure again and again, they quit. Because success demands a price most are unwilling to pay. It requires you to work when others sleep, to stay disciplined when others indulge, to keep going when every fiber of your being screams to stop. The harsh reality is that your competition isn't working hard. They're working obsessively. While you take weekends off, they're studying. While you celebrate more wins, they're already hunting the next victory. While you make excuses about balance and self-care, they're building empires. And when you finally decide you're ready to compete, you'll find yourself 10 years behind men who started when you were still deciding. Machiavelli understood that hesitation is death. The man who waits for the perfect moment never moves. The man who needs certainty before acting stays frozen forever. Fortune favors the bold, not because the universe is kind, but because boldness creates opportunities that caution never sees. You think you're being smart by waiting. You think you're being careful, but you're just being afraid. And fear disguised as wisdom is still just fear. Now let's talk about people. You want to believe that your friends have your back, that your family will always support you, that loyalty is real and love is unconditional. But here's what Machiavelli knew and what you refuse to see. People are loyal only when it serves them. The moment supporting you costs them something. The moment standing with you becomes inconvenient, they will abandon you, not because they're evil, but because self-interest governs all human behavior. Your closest friend will betray you if the price is right. Your partner will leave if someone better appears. Your family will turn on you if you threaten their comfort. This isn't cynicism, this is observation. Look at your own life. How many people who swore they'd never leave are already gone? How many who promised loyalty vanished the moment you needed them? You know this is true. You've seen it. You've lived it. But you keep pretending it's the exception instead of the rule. The harsh reality is that you are alone. Truly, deeply alone. Everyone around you is playing their own game, fighting their own battles, chasing their own interests. And you are only valuable to them as long as you serve a purpose. The moment you stop being useful, you become invisible. This is not cruelty. This is nature. And the sooner you accept it, the sooner you stop being shocked when people show you who they really are. So what do you do with this knowledge? You stop expecting loyalty. You stop trusting blindly. You start watching people's actions instead of believing their word. You become strategic with your relationship. Give only what you can afford to lose. Trust only what has been proven through time and pressure. And never, ever make someone your entire world, because the moment you do, you've handed them the knife to destroy you. Here's another reality you avoid. You are not special. You are not destined for greatness. You are not owed anything by this world. Society sold you the lie that you're unique, that you have a special purpose, that the universe has a plan for you. It doesn't. You are one of 8 billion people on a rock floating through space, and if you disappeared tomorrow, the world would keep spinning. Your absence would create a small ripple that fades within days. That's the truth. Uncomfortable, brutal, undeniable. But here's where it gets interesting. Once you accept that you're not special, once you stop waiting for destiny to choose you, you become free. Free to create your own meaning. Free to stop asking for permission and start taking what you want. Because if the universe doesn't care about you, then you owe it nothing. No obedience, no patience, no waiting your turn. You are free to be ruthless in your pursuit of power, success, and respect. Machiavelli would tell you this. The man who believes he's destined for greatness waits for signs. The man who accepts he's no one special goes out and builds greatness with his own hands. One dies waiting. The other becomes a legend. Which one will you be? Let's talk about failure. You've been told that failure is a learning experience, that every setback is a setup for a comeback. That persistence always pays off. More lies. Sometimes failure is just failure. Sometimes you try your hardest and still lose. Sometimes the market doesn't care how good your product is. Sometimes the girl doesn't care how nice you are. Sometimes your best is simply not good enough, and no amount of positive thinking will change that. The harsh reality is that life is not fair. It never was. It never will. Some people are born with advantages you'll never have. Better genetics, wealthier families, stronger networks, luckier timing. And no matter how hard you work, some doors will stay closed to you simply because of where you started. That's not pessimism, that's reality, and pretending otherwise is just setting yourself up for bitterness and disappointment. But here's what you can control. You can refuse to quit. You can adapt faster than your competition. You can outwork the talented. You can outlast the lucky. You can become so obsessed with winning that failure becomes nothing but data. Not every battle is winnable, but the war is won by the man who refuses to surrender even when he's losing. Machiavelli didn't promise victory. He promised survival to those ruthless enough to keep fighting. Now the hardest truth of all, your time is running out. Right now, this second, you are dying. Every breath brings you closer to the end, and you are wasting it on distractions, on comfort, on people who don't matter, on dreams you'll never chase. You think you have time. You think tomorrow will be different. You think someday you'll finally start living the life you imagine. But someday never comes. Tomorrow turns into next week. Next week turns into next year. And before you know it, you're old, full of regret, wondering where your life went. Machiavelli watched men waste their prime years on hesitation and comfort. He watched them dream instead of act. And he watched them die with their potential still locked inside them. That is the greatest tragedy. Not death itself, but dying without ever becoming who you could have been. Dying as a shadow of your potential. Dying having never truly lived. So here's the reality nobody wants to accept. You will die, probably sooner than you think. And when that moment comes, nobody will care about your excuses. Nobody will care that you were scared, that you didn't feel ready, that you were waiting for the right time. All that will matter is what you built, what you conquered, what legacy you left behind. And if the answer is nothing, then you wasted the only life you'll ever have. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is it. Your one shot, your one life. And you are burning it on comfort, safety, and the approval of people who won't even remember your name 10 years after you're gone. That should terrify you. That should make you angry. That should light a fire so intense that you can never settle for mediocrity again. The world is not waiting for you to be ready. Your enemies are not waiting for you to feel confident. Time is not waiting for you to figure it out. Everything is moving forward, whether you move with it or not. And the harsh reality is that most of you will stay stuck. Most of you will read these words, feel a temporary surge of motivation, and then return to the same patterns that have kept you weak, because facing reality is painful. And most people would rather stay comfortable in their suffering than risk the pain of transformation. But if you're still here, if something in you refuses to accept a mediocre existence, then understand this. Reality doesn't care about your feeling. It doesn't bend to your wishes. It doesn't reward your intentions. It only responds to action. Cold, calculated, relentless action. The kind that doesn't stop when you're tired. The kind that doesn't quit when you're scared. The kind that keeps moving forward, even when every logical reason says to give up. Machiavelli's final lesson was this: the world is conquered by those who see it clearly, not through rose-colored glasses, not through the filter of hope and fantasy, but as it truly is: brutal, unfair, indifferent. And once you see it that way, once you accept the harsh reality, you stop being a victim of circumstance. You stop waiting for the world to change. You become the force that changes it. You've been reshaped, not with comfort, not with lies, but with truth. The truth that you are not special, that people are selfish, that life is unfair, that time is running out, and that nobody is coming to save you. That's the harsh reality. And now you have a choice: reject it and stay weak, or accept it and become dangerous. Because the man who lives in delusion is already defeated, but the man who sees reality and still chooses to fight, that man becomes unstoppable. Like this video if you're done lying to yourself. Subscribe if you're ready to face the world as it truly is, because this isn't motivation, this is war. And only those who accept reality survive it.